going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, funny enough, I was actually just putting together a video of all my constructive criticism of Season 2, because as we all know, especially if you've been around the gaming scene for a while now, you know it's practically impossible to put out an update without something busting. So, for the past few days, I've been kind of, forming my opinion on everything that's broken within Season 2, and I was going to put together one big video, kind of pinpointing this stuff to make it easier on the developers to, what to prioritize for the future. But man, ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why I don't rush out the negative videos and I give the developers time, because time and time again, I don't think there's been a singular time where the XDefiant developers have ever let me down. And there have been times where I questioned them a bit and I got a bit worried. But each time I questioned them and got worried, I got instantly shot down because they just come right out, they fill us in with information, communication, and just nail everything home. So ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I'm going to be discussing everything that they are prioritizing now, what's going to be coming up in the upcoming future here for another XDefiant update. And there are a couple of other things that they did not address that I still want to talk about within this video. And I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about the other concerns I have for the future of XDefiant. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We are literally creeping around to 50,000 subscribers. We are right there. So if you like XDefiant content or Call of Duty content, subscribe and hit that bell. And very quickly, I do want to let you guys know my video for tomorrow might sound a little odd. I have a video that's been pre-recorded for a few days now before Season 2. So in the beginning of the video, I'm gabbing on saying, oh yeah, and if you want to check out Season 2, come on through to the, all that stuff. It's going to sound weird, but I just didn't want to scrap the commentary because it's so good. And I really wanted you guys to hear it, listen to it. But I wanted to prioritize the Season 2 content first and foremost. So just know when you're listening to that video, if you do check it out tomorrow, it might sound a little odd, but, the topic is still solid, and I think you guys will still really enjoy it. And last but not least, guys, don't forget, I usually do not stream on Sundays, but this Sunday I will be live, probably around the afternoon time. So if you guys are interested, you want to tune in, hang out with me a little bit today, and enjoy your weekend on some XDefiant, by all means, tune in. I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, when Season 2 went ahead and dropped, there were a few things that kind of went wrong here. Now, from my personal experience, I didn't really get it that much, but I see it all over the place. So it must be something severely going wrong here. I see it all over Reddit. Tons of people in the YouTube comment section have been mentioning it. But the frame rates have been absolutely atrocious for a lot of individuals. Like I said, I've been getting really lucky. I'll be real. I've been getting really lucky. You can tune into my live stream, see for yourself. My gameplay has been pretty dang smooth. But people have been dropping frames like crazy. I mean, people who average maybe like 200 plus frames across the board can barely even get 100 frames, let alone 80 frames within the XDefiant experience right now. Which, yes, that will 1010% ruin the experience for anybody out there. That's a drastic difference in performance, especially for someone who might be running a pretty decent rig. And guys, it's not just PC players either. This transfers over to console players as well. Yeah, console players, you're getting frame drops too, and you might not be getting as many frames, obviously, as a high-end PC rig, which gives even more reason for them to not screw up the frames on a console, but sadly, they're getting toasted right now, and people who are probably running around like 100, 120 maybe 60, I don't know what you guys would really be rocking on console. I mean, people are barely even grasping at like 30 to 40 frames here. It is getting rough for a lot of players. And again, it's not everybody across the board, but it's enough to cause a massive problem. But lucky enough, once again, the XDefiant developers came out over on Twitter, and Casper put this out saying, fix the problem of FPS drop. I love how straightforward people are on Twitter, man. No question, nothing. Just fix the problem of FPS drops. That's it, man. But the XDefiant page said, we've seen people talking about the performance issues, and we got the team looking into it. Phenomenal. This is exactly what I want to see. And then secondly, ladies and gentlemen, because of course there has been more problems. It's not just, obviously the frame drops. I think a lot of people have noticed this. But the trading that has been occurring within XDefiant. Now, again, the more you play and the more you, actually improve at the game, the trades get less and less. Day one, I was literally trading like maybe 7, 8 times every single match. It was insane. But again, I was so used to ghosting bullets that my playstyle was still kind of revolving around that style. You know what I'm saying? To where now, the shots are landing very consistently. So the more I practice and the better I get, the better I'm landing my shots, and the more consistently I'm not dying, and I'm getting really good streaks again. But, the trading is still at an all-time high. No matter how well you perfect your gameplay and how well you finally adapt, Doesn't matter. You're still going to trade a decent amount of times with an XDefiant. So, of course, this is something that we want to see resolved. And clearly, as the netcode improves, we will see better improvements to, the trades becoming less and less and less. But still, it's nice to see the XDefiant developers come out and at least address it, as you can see right here from Sean. Are you going to do something about trading kills? And, the team responds saying, definitely been seeing the comments from everyone about it, and we're taking a look at it, which is honestly really good because they didn't really mention the netcode in this one, which makes me think that they might actually be able to find a way to improve the trades before the netcode drop within the mid-season event, which would be tremendous. If they can handle it this way, and they can get the trades under better control, and then, go ahead and release the massive netcode changes, that will be such a game changer. And I think a lot of people are going to be satisfied with this. But again, like I said before, this is the classic XDefiant team. You don't even have to really go crazy on them. All you have to say is, look, we're losing frames, and, we're trading a lot. And they see it, they address it, and they're working on it. You know how hard you would have to fight to be able to get anybody on any other team to address this? I mean, shoot, I even look back at COD with the netcode and the servers. And I'm not even trying to say anything bad about Sledgehammer, because they did a phenomenal job with communicating with their community and doing things for us and listening to us and, buffs, nerfs, adjustments, all around community feedback. They did a great job, but even they won't address netcode or servers. They never openly say anything about it, Whereas the XDefiant team, no matter how, niche the topic, they are always going to address it. You know what I'm saying? They're always going to go ahead and address it, whether it be skill-based matchmaking, the servers, the netcode. All these things that development teams don't typically like to talk about with their communities, they're so open about it with us, and I love that. Now, I'm a bit sad because Mark Rubin hasn't been on Twitter recently, and I love when Mark Rubin's out on Twitter because he gives better explanations. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see the XDefiant page addressing this stuff so we know it's being worked on. But my favorite part about when Mark Rubin comes out on it is that he doesn't just address it, he fills us in on details, maybe timelines, what to expect, so on and so forth. But it is what it is. We'll see how things pan out in the future. But ladies and gentlemen, there's one last thing that I wanted to bring up here for negatives for these Season 2 changes that I haven't seen them actually address, and that is the audio in this game. Now, the audio isn't as bad as people are making it out to be. It's not. People are making it out to be like it's completely gone. It simply hasn't changed that drastically much. From what I notice, basically your teammates and your footsteps are almost silenced. Like you can barely hear your own feet, let alone your teammates. And the enemy footsteps are still there. You could hear them, but they're reduced as well. So it's almost like kind of like a trade-off, because beforehand, your footsteps were so loud before, you can hear yourself 24/7 along with your teammates, that they had to make the enemy footsteps extraordinarily loud. Because if they didn't make them extraordinarily loud, you wouldn't hear them over your own footsteps. You see what I'm saying here? So this adjustment isn't bad. They were definitely going in the right direction by reducing your own footsteps and then reducing the enemy footsteps to kind of even it out. But I think they might have reduced it a little too much. I think what they were trying to go for here is making the bomb game mode a bit more strategic, because obviously, the sound whoring in that is going to be times 10. That's what people do in Search and Destroy. Not only is it about, map awareness and, playing with your team, but sound whoring and listening to, what's going on around you is very crucial so you can figure out what's going on in the match. So I think they were trying to reduce it to make it more fair. Because if we had the same audio as we did before this update and Bomb, bro, nobody would move. I'm telling you right now, nobody will move. Right now on Bomb, I have courage to step out of my boundaries because I know the audio isn't going to rat me out in 5 seconds. But, I still think it might have been reduced a little too much. In my opinion, and I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section. Of course, go down in the comment section, leave your opinions about this topic here. But I personally believe that it should just be slightly buffed, just a little bit. Like I said, my footsteps are literally down to 0. It sounds like I have dead silence, and I think the problem here is that I can't tell how loud I really am. Now, obviously, as time has gone on, and you guys know me, I get pretty competitive. I mastered it, right? I know how loud I am just by dictating enemy players. You listen to the enemy players, and although you don't sound the same because your footsteps are so low, you have to kind of, put it into perspective. Okay, the enemies sound like that at this range. That means I'm going to sound like that to the enemies at that range as well. And when you do that, you can put 2 and 2 together, and you can kind of master it. But that's a little complex for a very casual player who could give 2 craps about that. You know what I'm saying? They hear no footsteps from themselves. They run blatantly everywhere because they think nobody can hear them. They die. I feel like our footsteps should be raised a little bit, especially if they might be planning on bringing in like some dead silence option. Who knows? Maybe the Assassin's Creed faction will have some dead silence type of thing, or passive, or ability that allows you to, cut your footsteps all together so you can flank. That would be pretty freaking cool. You know what I'm saying? But that I think that, again, our footsteps should be raised a bit, and the enemy footsteps should be raised just a little bit. Not to where it was before, but we're at a point where, again, it's a little confusing for casual players to kind of step into this and understand the audio. And even for experienced players, it is a bit rough to kind of differentiate where enemies are. Before, I could literally tell where they're at, what level they're on, top floor, bottom floor, how far they are, what room they're in, So it's a bit odd. Again, I don't want it to be that distinct because that's a little OP to be able to tell exactly where an enemy is at all times just based off of audio like that. Although, I guess it should be fair because, you're using your ears and you're using, your map knowledge to know where an enemy is. So I shouldn't say that it's unfair, but again, I think that it shouldn't be as far as that where it's stupidly loud. But the middle ground, I don't think this is the middle ground. I don't. I think it could be tuned a little bit higher just for the perfect middle ground. But again, I want to know what you guys think about that audio change down in the comment section. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And of course, if you guys want to check out my live stream, I'll be live today, probably a little afternoon. By all means, you guys find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.